Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1807B, and today's date is March 5th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Warlike Posture Activated, Backchannel Operational, Countdown Continues. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about security. Did you know installing the Facebook app on your Android or iPhone automatically gives them your right consent to collect the history of your precise location? There is a setting called Location History on your Facebook app that comes enabled by default. Now, apps can still track where you are and what you do online using your IP address and browsing history. To protect yourself from these threats and attacks on your privacy, use Virtual Shield. This month, Virtual Shield is offering a spring special of 30% off all VPN plans and all premium add-ons. So protect your personal data now and click the link below. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, the deep state, they are in such a panic that they're pushing investigations with no evidence. What they're really doing right now with all these House investigations, they're combing through everything to try to find something to be used for leverage. Because they know that the trump card is going to be played. They know it's going to be the Declass. They know it's going to be the OIG report. They know that the sealed indictments will be unsealed. They know there will be arrests. So they're frantically trying to find something they can use against Trump. This is why they're pushing those investigations, because they know that Mueller, there's nothing there. They've already told us this. They've already got the report. It was leaked to them. So we have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the Mueller report, all saying no Russian collusion. And they are very desperate. We'll be talking about that a little bit later and Q's post. But first, it looks like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it looks like she might be in a little bit of trouble here. An FEC complaint was filed on Monday charging Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her chief of staff, and others with using 2 PACs and LLCs to hide hundreds of thousands in campaign dollars. The Federal Election Commission complaint, the National Legal and Policy Centers filed Monday, accused Cortez, chief of staff, of using 2 political action committees he founded to funnel around $1 million to 2 of his private companies. And this is coming out of the FEC complaint. The NPLC complaint takes aim at the possibility contributions from the PAC to candidates exceeds the 5,000 FEC limit. It requests an FEC investigation into the 2 PACs for creating an elaborate scheme to avoid proper disclosure of campaign expenditures. So it looks like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez might be in a little bit of trouble here. And she's always talking about dark money and all this other stuff. And it looks like she's doing exactly what the other swamp creatures do that are put into their positions. She's acting just like a swamp creature. We see that Michael Cohen told the House Oversight Committee last week that he never asked for a pardon from President Trump. Well, it's looking increasingly like this might come back to haunt him, because it seems like his then attorney was ready to ask Trump, or already did ask Trump, for a pardon. Now, again, Trump has not pardoned anyone that was indicted by Mueller. So there have been no pardons whatsoever, but it looks like at that time, when they were first raiding the office of Michael Cohen and everything else, because he was the weak link, they knew they can get him on a lot of stuff, trying to force Trump into doing something. It looks like he was ready and willing to ask for a pardon. So it looks like he lied once again. We see that Adam Schiff and many others in the House Intelligence Committee, they are trying to do whatever they possibly can to find something to use it against Trump. Right now, they have nothing. So Adam Schiff hired former SDNY prosecutor Daniel Goldman to investigate the Trump administration. Think about all the investigations that are going on where they're trying to find something. First, they had Mueller, And there were different scopes. They were looking at Russian collusion. And then, of course, Rod Rosenstein, broadened the scope to look at everything else. And then Mueller, then Barr came in and then narrowed the scope back down and said, listen, this is done. You're done with this. Produce the report. But all those individuals that are panicking right now, they're going in all different directions trying to find something. And what's very interesting is that after the House Judiciary Committee fired off 81 documents and everything else, harassing innocent people and things like that, Trump tweeted out the following. Now that they realize the only collusion with Russia was done by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, Nadler, Schiff, and the Dem heads of the committees have gone stone cold crazy. 81 letters sent to innocent people to harass them. They won't get anything done for our country. Trump continued, the greatest overreach in the history of our country, the Dems are obstructing justice and will not get anything done. A big, fat fishing expedition desperately in search of a crime, when in fact the real crime is what the Dems are doing and have done. And he summed it up in 2 words, presidential harassment. And they don't have anything. Take a listen to what Nadler said on CNN.
Okay, so now you're not sure he's obstructed justice?
Personally, I think he has, but we have to look and see. If we're going to do anything, you have to have proof. I think there's a lot of evidence, but we have to get a lot more evidence.
So that's what this is about. You don't yet have the proof.
That's part of what this is about.
And as you can see, he has no evidence whatsoever. They're looking for something so they can prove something, but he has his suspicions. They all have their suspicions, but they can't find anything. We see Donald Trump signs executive order creating veteran suicide task force, and he's out there helping our armed forces, helping the veterans. And again, these individuals put their lives on the line to protect the freedoms of the United States. Now, I do know that a lot of these wars, they were started by the deep state, and they were not really fighting for the freedoms, but they didn't know that. They were sold a false bill of goods. But when there is a real war, when there is something where they need to defend the United States, they are always there. Forget about the deep state wars, which they concocted to send our troops and to have people fight for their system. These individuals are ready and willing to put their lives on the line to protect the Constitution, to protect our rights. And those people that are coming back from war, they should have the best care. They should have the best of everything. Not the senators, not the House of Representatives. These people shouldn't be making $170,000, $200,000, $250,000 having the best health care. Our soldiers should be getting that. Remember, the people in government, they're sitting behind a desk. They have their own private gym, their own private restaurants, limos. And the people that do the work, who protect the Constitution, who protect our rights, what do they get? They get a lot less than these individuals are getting. It's time to turn this around. We see that Senator Paul and another senator by the name of Tom Udall, they created this new bill, and it's a resolution called the 2019 Afghan Forces Going Home After Noble Service Act. And they're saying, listen, let's call it a victory. We got Al-Qaeda. We pushed them out. We killed Osama bin Laden. Well, he really died of natural causes, but we'll go with that story. And guess what? There's no reason for the United States to be in Afghanistan anymore. And also, within this, they're going to repeal the 2001 authorization for the use of military force. And I think all this needs to be done because this was all created by the deep state, the intelligence organizations, to push their wars across the world. It's time to bring all the troops home from Syria. It's time to bring all the troops home from Afghanistan. It's time to end this. The deep state, the intelligence organizations that are intertwined within the deep state, they're done. There's a new system coming online. It's called the People's System, the way it was when the founding fathers first found it. We see the Islamic State, they are defeated. There's just very small pockets left of them. There's no reason to be in any of these countries anymore. But we need to remember something very important. There are factions within government still that are still trying to push their agenda, where they want the forces to stay, where they want war. Everyone is not behind Trump. He is fighting individuals in the Democratic Party. He is still fighting individuals in the Republican Party. Remember, draining the swamp is draining all of these individuals that are not working in the best interest of the country. But Trump needs to start somewhere, and you might as well get rid of all those people that are traitors, treasonous, and all these individuals that have been doing this for a very long time within the FBI, within the Department of Justice, and everywhere else, and then move to the lower levels and get rid of them. Let's get into some of Q's posts here. Post 2957, and Annan says, acting, temporary role, cause destruction, then move on. Hard to hit a moving target. Annan. Q says, yes, this is the Scaramucci model. Temp higher by design. Shadow to sessions by design. Public will become aware. Doc dump. They're talking about Whitaker. And the Annan is pretty much saying this was a temporary role. And if you notice what Q is saying, it's a Scaramucci model. These are temporary individuals, and Whitaker was shadowing Sessions, and it was by design. And we're going to find out exactly what was going on there. And I believe Whitaker was handling a lot of the investigations, handling getting rid of a lot of these individuals. And he was doing everything under the watch of Sessions. Post 2958. And Annan says, Q, sometimes I think it is hard for y'all to empathize with us. Y'all on operating from a position of knowledge. We are in the dark. We are desperate for the truth and justice. Q says, define Backchannel. Well, Backchannel is a secondary or covert route for the passage of information. This is what 8chan is. This is the Backchannel for what is going on. It bypasses the mainstream media. It bypasses the intelligence organizations. And it gives us insight into what is really going on. Now remember, within this, there's disinformation and real information where Annans will do research and discover what is disinformation and what is real information. Sometimes it's hard to understand which is which, but sooner or later, Q, once the operation has ended, Q tells us that yes, this was disinformation. Disinformation is being done on purpose because the deep state reads these boards. And Q and the Patriots want the deep state to do something in particular by giving them disinformation. But this is our back channel, 8chan, and everything that Q is feeding us. It bypasses pretty much almost everything. Post 2959. Q says, Hussein gave the order to start the spy campaign. It was logged officially 2 times. 1 domestic, 1 foreign. Fisk judge, White House meeting. So was there a Fisk judge in on it? Well, if Q is saying Fisk judge, White House meeting, well, if Q is asking, most likely, yes, there was a Fisk judge in on this. White House visitor logs are important. The logs have it all, name, date, etc. They have to collect the logs when they go into one of these areas. Hussein Library, class, doc, move. Hussein tried to hide all the documentation by moving it to his library. Q says, attempt to shelter and protect himself? Yes. Who has authority to obtain? The president. He can declassify it. The president has all access. The more you know. Let's go back to post 2207. Remember what Q told us about classified information. Now, this is Executive Order 13526. This was from Obama, by the way. Section 1.7. Classification prohibitions and limitations. A. In no case shall information be classified, continue to be maintained as classified or fail to be declassified in order to conceal violations of law, inefficiency, or administrative error, prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency, restrain competition, or prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of the national security. So this information can be declassified, and it doesn't matter if it embarrasses a person, organization, or agency. And you can see all the different reasons why it can be declassified. Post 2960. Q gives us a video on YouTube. This is a video of Trump. Take a listen to what he says.
I want to do things. You know, I keep hearing about investigations, fatigue. Like almost from the time I announced I was going to run, they've been giving us this investigation fatigue. It's been a long time. They got nothing, zero. You know why? Because there is nothing. But they can play that game, but we can play it better. Because we have a thing called the United States Senate. And a lot of very questionable things were done between leaks of classified information and many other elements that should not have taken place. And all you're going to do is end up in back and forth and back and forth, and 2 years is going to go up, and we won't have done a thing. If that happens, then we're going to do the same thing, and government comes to a halt. There are many things we can get along on without a lot of trouble, that we agree very much with them and they agree with us. I would like to see bipartisanship. I'd like to see unity. And I think we have a very good chance of, and maybe not on everything, but I think we have a very good chance of seeing that.
If they start investigating you, that you can play that game and investigate
better
them.
than them.
Can you compartmentalize that?
And I think I know more than they know.
Can you compartmentalize that and still continue to work with them for the benefit of the rest of the country,
No.
or are all bets off?
No. If they do that, then it's just all it is a warlike posture.
And so then, wait a minute, then the follow-up.
You heard my answer. Go ahead.
Well, since it's Jim, I'll let it go.
Now, within this post, it says promises made, promises kept. Q. Trump promised to drain the swamp. And Trump is going to keep these promises. So within the video, Trump said, I can play the game better than the Dems. And if you were listening, he also said he knows a lot more than they do. This is the Trump card. Post 2961. Is there a benefit, think public optics, to allowing your enemy to open the front door? Q is asking, is there a benefit in allowing the deep state to continue with their attacks? Yes. They become panicked. They become desperate. Trump and the Patriots want them to appear irrational and crazy. Think about the border argument. Think about the new abortion laws. How did it make the Dems look? They looked a little crazy, didn't they? Q says, warlike posture activated. In the previous post, Trump said in the video that he would assume a warlike posture. Well, it is now activated. Thank you for playing. Q. Now, Sarah Sanders put out the following, and this is a statement on Chairman Nadler's fishing expedition. Today, Chairman Nadler opened up a disgraceful and abusive investigation into a tired false allegations already investigated by the special counsel and committees in both chambers of Congress. Chairman Nadler and his fellow Democrats have embarked on this fishing expedition because they are terrified that the 2-year false narrative of Russian collusion is crumbling. Their intimidation and abuse of American citizens is shameful. Democrats are harassing the president to distract from their radical agenda of making America a socialist country, killing babies after they're born, and pushing a Green New Deal that would destroy jobs and bankrupt America. The American people deserve a Congress that works with the president to address serious issues like immigration, healthcare, and infrastructure. The Democrats are more interested in pathetic political games and catering to a radical leftist base than on producing results for our citizens. The Democrats are not after the truth. They are after the president, Sarah Sanders. Let's move on to post 2962. Now, 2962 to 2967 are a lot of these stringer messages. Let me read some of them. Protect MGL. SGAH _X 830 198 374 brackets bold -48. D fire good. Location assist good. 2963, put everything from 2962 into this one. MGL, change route under, assist P 193. 2964, put everything from 2963 and said the following. Clear all nons, brackets -48, Q. Post 2965, dark pattern active, -48, limit no nons. 2966, battery A, roof 1A, battery F, ground 9G, active commence, track report 2, track confirm 2, 48 dark, and that's in kill brackets, the number 48. 2967, public comms prevent, switch private, reg _C, FS on incoming. So it looks like they are tracking something, and it looks like they're trying to prevent something. Maybe there's an event going on, maybe something's happening, but it looks like they're tracking, they're reporting, they're confirming, and either -48 is a countdown or something else saying, or it's an individual, because it says -48 dark. Maybe this individual went dark or something like that. Let's move on to post 2968. Q puts up all the different logos of Gmail, Facebook, Chrome, Apple, Google Play, Google GPS. And next to it shows the same type of symbols that Gmail has, for example. So Gmail looks like an envelope, and it looks just like the Masonic Royal Rich Apron. The Facebook logo looks like the Masonic Tubal King. The Apple Store and the Android product store looks like Freemason. The Google Chrome logo looks like Divine King Sign 666. The Google Play looks like the seal of Satan. Google GPS looks like the Eye of Providence. And then gives us a picture of Reddit Premium, and this is a crest, and it's a very odd crest with the eye, with a fish jumping over the arrow with an eye on it, and all the little creatures are very strange. So basically, it looks like these are symbols that the deep state uses. Q then gives us a Fox Business article, and it says Google continues work on controversial Chinese search engine. Google is reportedly continuing work on search engine in China. Now, according to an internal investigation by the tech giant's employees, putting the controversial project back into the spotlight after it was abandoned following condemnation from lawmakers in both parties. The initiative, known internally as Project Dragonfly, was said to be ready for release by April 2019, but media leaks on Google plans to comply with the Chinese censorship rules in order to launch the engine brought intense opposition from within its own ranks, as well as from elected officials. When the House Judiciary Committee was holding a hearing, the CEO of Google denied any immediate launch plans, but not rule out future release. So it looks like they're going ahead with this censored search engine. And what people are very worried about is once they get it all built and ready to go in China, they will eventually use it here. But Google employees, they've carried out their own investigation into the company's plan to launch a censored search engine for China and say they are concerned that development of the project remains ongoing. They're looking at the code and they're seeing that things are now changing. And Q says, did the fire in China cause Google to continue work from California? Yes, remember there was a fire, and Q posted this. There was a fire in Google in China, and it looks like they moved their operation to California, and they continued building this search engine, even though they told Congress they are not pursuing this. Those awake can see clearly. Q. Let's move on to post 2969. Q gives us a Twitter link from Sarah Carter. I don't have a recollection of being involved in the FISA for Mr. Page at all, said Loretta Lynch to Rep. Goodlatte during December testimony. Former AG Lynch appeared to have amnesia during December testimony about Carter Page. FISA. Q. Now, Loretta Lynch might be playing the game to keep the deep state off track, because we need to go back to post 2261. And it said, and this is September 21st, 2018. Panic in D.C. This is in kill brackets, her initials LL. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed tarmac, Bill Clinton. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth revealed Comey Clinton email case. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth reveal Hussein instructions Clinton email case. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth reveal Brennan no name coordination to frame POTUS. So I'm wondering if Lynch was out there saying that she remembers nothing of this and making the deep state feel more relaxed, like she didn't turn over any evidence. But from Q, the back channel in 8chan, it shows that Loretta Lynch was talking. So we have a little bit of a conflict here, and I think this was done on purpose. So you can see the warlike posture that has been activated. The countdown is continuing, and the deep state, they have nothing to protect themselves with. They're looking for something, and they're running against the clock. Maybe this is why Q gave us the countdown, making these individuals rush around, looking crazy, trying to find whatever they can find. And you know what happens when people become desperate? They become sloppy, and they look crazy. And actually, this is exactly the way they're looking. And they know the clock is ticking down, and they have nothing. And the Mueller report is going to be released. And the Trump card will eventually be played at the right time. They're panicking in D.C. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.